This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, the public will have a say on the proposed bylaws which govern footpath use in Dunedin. The Otago Goldfields Cavalcade is set to see hundreds of horse riders and more for its 28th year. And Bland Park was anything but bland at the 9th annual Waitati Music Festival on Saturday. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Simon Anderson. The Dunedin City Council voted unanimously for proposed changes to the bylaws governing footpath use to go to public consultation. A report from staff on the changes to mobile trading bylaw was presented to councillors at this afternoon's council meeting.
Dunedin residents will get to have a say on every aspect of footpath use following a Dunedin City Council decision this afternoon. Changes to the Dunedin City Council's mobile trading bylaw will examine everything from where e-scooters can be ridden to street vendors and who can create artworks on the pavement. Mayor Aaron Hawkins says electronic scooters have brought the issue to a head.
We have a bylaw that looks more holistically at how we manage the commercial use of our footpaths, and if there is a silver lining to the sudden arrival of micro-mobility onto the streets, is that it finally brought this issue to a head, and here we have a bylaw that looks to address those things.
Councillors quizzed Community Services General Manager Simon Pickford and staff about many aspects of the report, including scooters and people with visual and physical disabilities. The motion to put the proposed bylaw up for public consultation was put by Councillor David Benson Pope.
I'll probably disqualify myself from any process in terms of this bylaw, given my views on the danger provided by e-scooters, but I will be rational and modify them on the evidence presented at any hearing, should I be involved, which I don't anticipate.
Who says he strongly believes electronic scooters are a menace on footpaths and welcomes public input. In Dunedin, The South Today.
Emergency services were called to a blaze in a single-storey home in the Dunedin suburb of Vauxhall shortly before 3 this morning. Fire and emergency say crews arrived to find the house well alight and called for extra support. A person was found inside the property and CPR was performed, but to no avail. Authorities say the victim was pronounced dead at the scene at 3:30 a.m. and the blaze was brought under control about an hour later. Fire investigators from Dunedin and Queenstown were set to investigate the cause of the blaze this morning. Now in its 28th year, the Otago Goldfields Cavalcade is set to see hundreds of horse riders, wagoners, walkers and cyclists arrive in Paetiaroa this coming Saturday. Two of the trail bosses say they have attended nearly all of them and are not looking to stop just yet.
Practising out on the Tairi Plain last week for this year's cavalcade. Two of this year's trail bosses, Sandra Kane and Chris Bain, are followed by Les Bain driving a horse called Pippa Middleton, so named because of the horse's view from behind. This year will be the 28th Otago Goldfields Cavalcade and Bain's 27th, having missed the very first one. She says she keeps being drawn back by the friendliness of other participants as well as the unique scenery.
Well, it's the people, there's such loyal people, and it's the farmers, and you get out and you see country you'll never ever see ever again. It's just awesome.
This year's light wagon and riding trail starts near Terrace and travels through backcountry routes to finish at Paetiaroa, with a day off to rest the horses and take in the views from the top of Tony Clark's Closeburn station.
It's a pretty good track. They'll get plenty of heights, so they'll see a lot. And then on our lay day, the day we have off, Tony's going to take us right up to the top of his hills, and we'll look down on the whole of the Maniatoto. It's a pretty spectacular view. Another group of cavalcade enthusiasts are set to walk a series of trails over 3 days, also converging on Paetiaroa. Walking trail boss Sandra Kane says in past years they've had days up to 30 kilometres long, but this year's route will be a little easier.
Our first day is about 17k and our big day is the Thursday, which will be 21 to 25k's, just depending on if we pull them up a little bit and get to the shed a wee bit earlier there, and the next day it's about 19k. So not quite so long, it just depends on where our accommodation is for the night.
And Kane says she's looking forward to taking a break as trail boss after this year, with the possibility of doing a wagon trail in the future. In Mosgiel, the South Today.
Firefighters had to wash down part of Dunedin's Upper Rattray Street on Saturday after it was closed by a large diesel spill covering both lanes. Emergency services say the diesel had been spilled by a vehicle on Saturday morning. Some cars were later unable to climb the hill because of the slippery conditions. Firefighters washed the street with fire hoses and also used detergent-related product to disperse the diesel. The street was closed for about an hour. Police say the Dunedin City Council was notified of the spill. The colour, the sights and, above all else, the sounds made Bland Park anything but during the Waitati Music Festival on Saturday. More than 1,000 people made the most of 12 hours of non-stop music across 3 stages in a genre-bending line-up that included everything from poetry and folk to dance music, punk rock and reggae.
A truly big day out. The Waitati Music Festival promised 12 hours of music and entertainment. And for those thousands of revellers who flocked to the coastal township, it certainly delivered. The festival's main organiser, Katie Peppercorn, says the night's Waitati Music Festival was a complete success.
Music's still amazing quality as last year, as every year. Crowd's always great. We just attract the most friendliest Dunediners.
Peppercorn says despite the odd shower coming through, everything ran smoothly. One of the early acts on the Poet Palette is Dunedin neuroscience student Timmy Kahuma, who's ably assisted by his DJ and producer Andre Tai.
My biggest goal is to make music someone can listen to and be like, oh yeah, I can relate to that, or like, oh that helps me kind of thing.
The pair recently opened for hip-hop legend Savage and are scheduled to play at the South Dunedin Street Festival next month. Amongst the many stalls was a stone carving tent where people could have a go at soft stone carving under an expert tutor.
So this is a good way to just allow them to express themselves, and there's no mistakes. It's just an ongoing learning process.
Acts were balanced between the Poet Palette, a second stage and the main stage across the 12-hour period, including guitarist Richard Wallace and New Zealand's Poet Laureate David Eggleton. Queenstown musician Erin Crowley, who performs as Erin Sphere, took to the main stage with her process of creating songs live using looping pedals and 5 or more instruments.
I'll record a bar or 2 bars. It's variable because I can lock the 2 of the pedals together, or I can leave them free flowing. So basically I record that one loop and then I'll start playing over it. So I might start with guitar and then put a bass track down and then put some keys in, and then I might put drums on another channel.
Post-punk band Die 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 were the headline act on the main stage, entertaining the crowd into the night. Frontman Andrew Wilson joining the crowd, microphone in hand, a couple of times. Wilson says they're about to head overseas to record again with one of the legendary producers in their genre.
Yeah, we're doing a new album in July back in Chicago with Steve Albini, and so we're going to try and play. We were going to play more than half new songs, but now we've decided to only do about a quarter. Yeah, we started getting a bit shy, you know.
From the mathematical precision of Die Die Die, the last band of the night were Shakes and the Troublemakers on the second stage, sharing their own brand of garage-inspired rock and roll, with a definite swagger and a glint in their eye. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. Work has begun at the site of the Mosgiel Aquatic Centre, and Mosgiel hosted its annual party in the park in yesterday's stunning weather. See you after the break.
Garage Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garage quality service. Garage Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chin.
Heaven Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance spheres. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
No mai anō, welcome back. Plans to build a new swimming pool complex in Mosgiel have taken another step forward. On Friday, the last of 20 test holes was bored inland near the current pool site in Mosgiel. The drill rig collected core samples for a geotechnical report regarding the Dunedin City Council plans for a new $15 million pool. It was expected the work at the pool site would allow the location to be confirmed. Memorial Park in Mosgiel was the place to be on Sunday, with the annual Party in the Park entertaining a crowd of hundreds. Organisers say after their experiment to hold the event at a nearby sports field, they're happy to have returned to their original location.
A large crowd enjoyed the lovely sunshine at this year's Mosgiel Party in the Park on Saturday. Entertainment throughout the day included several performers, as well as a variety of market stalls, bouncy castles, face painting and plenty of food options. Organiser Ian Chalmers says he was pleased with the turnout.
It's looking pretty good actually. There's a lot of people here for this early in the morning, so and of course it's lunchtime now. A lot of people coming around for the food and foodies, so I think it's a good number for so early in the day.
The event was first held about 20 years ago to give back to the community, as well as to serve as a fundraiser to buy new play equipment for the park.
Oh, Party in the Park was started a number of years ago here by a happy bunch of people wanting to promote Mosgiel and do some things for the kids' park here, and it's sort of grown over the years.
This year saw organisers shift the event back amongst the trees and swings of Memorial Park, after 2 years across the road on the sports grounds of Peter Johnson Park. And Ian Chalmers says they're happy with the decision.
The kids' park here is much more user-friendly. It's got an atmosphere which the Peter Johnson Park didn't have. As you can see by the number of people here today, mauling around through the trees and the food stalls, that sort of thing, they're much happier here, I think.
In Mosgiel, the south today.
8 crews braved the mighty Clutha River, hoping to garner coveted big river raft race titles on Saturday. While there may have been fewer entries this year, organisers are happy with how the race panned out.
Despite less than ideal weather conditions, 8 keen teams and their homemade rafts took to the Clutha River for this year's big river raft race. Raft race spokeswoman Lila McNutt was happy with how the race played out.
We've got 8 rafts this year. It's a little bit down from last year, but that was expected with the weather, so yeah, a bit colder today. So.
Recent severe flooding of the river and surrounding areas may have also had an effect on entries. McNutt says she understood there would be still some worry about the floodwaters, but the organisers took all precautions necessary to ensure it was safe.
Yeah, I think it has made people think a bit more about it, just, you know, the logs and things going down the river, but we've got the local Landsar groups and the Surf Life Saving Club on the water today, so that's helping us out a lot too.
Crossing the finish line in first place were the Clydevale Whisky Chasers, who bettered their second place in last year's race to take out the sought-after Big River title.
I'll come back every year. Yeah, more improvements, more upgrades.
As well as the race, the Big River Festival was also held on the banks of the Clutha. In Balclutha, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, we catch up with all creatures great and small at the Mount Benja A&P show, and we have a look at the weather heading into the week. See you soon.
Step into Shop on Carol and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Larnach Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions. Heaven Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance spheres. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today. If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Thanks for staying with us. Pumpkins, pets and ponies were all part of this year's Mount Benja A&P show in Roxburgh on Saturday. The day also included volunteer firefighters raising funds to help southern farmers affected by the recent floods.
Okay, only about 5 minutes to go for the pet parade.
You can't have a rural A&P show without a pet competition, and Saturday's Mount Benja A&P show at the Roxburgh Racecourse was no different. This year saw the usual displays of prize-winning produce and well-bred livestock, plus an exhibition of classic cars. 2 days of equestrian competitions included show and novelty jumping on Friday, with further events on the Saturday. And tapping into the crowd of visitors were fundraising volunteers, with raffles to help flood-affected farmers further south.
Oh, it's a terrible thing that's happened for them. Yeah, they've lost a lot of feed over, so it's little things we can do for them.
Local volunteer Sam Lennon says that while Roxburgh has had its share of floods, none have hit the local area as much as the recent ones downstream and over the hill at Tapanui and Gore.
Oh, we've had a couple of floods, but nothing as bad as what they've had.
In Roxburgh, the south today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the south today. The public will have a say on proposed bylaws which govern footpath use in Dunedin following today's Dunedin City Council meeting. The Otago Goldfields Cavalcade is set to see hundreds of horse riders and more for its 28th year of the historic event. And Bland Park was anything but bland at the 9th annual Waitaki Music Festival on Saturday as thousands of people enjoyed the 12 hours of music it presented. And now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we have Stu Oldham with us this evening. Kia ora, Stu.
G'day, how are you?
Good.
Good. Well, let's move into it. We're looking into an issue that will interest most parents, I imagine. The Queenstown Beauty Salon owner has been the first in New Zealand to be prosecuted for letting kids under the age of 18 access their ultraviolet tanning services. Who'd have thought it was a thing? Has been for 2 years, and they were caught by the Ministry of Health in a sting. So it's worth parents remembering as we get into ball season towards the end of the year that that's a no-no. They're not supposed to be going on there, and they'll get in trouble otherwise. We've also got the sad news of a woman who was killed in a fire in Dunedin just this morning. Despite attempts by fire service to revive her, she died at the scene. So we've got some detail from her neighbour, tells us what he saw, and also we find out a little bit more about the victim too. We're also talking to the first person who has swum the entire Clutha River, according to him. He swum 239 kilometres over 4.5 days, and how did he celebrate? I know you want to know. This will relieve those of us who break into a sweat as we walk towards the refrigerator. He wanted to sit down and have a pizza, and good on him. We also talked to a Wanaka swimmer who set a new record time for swimming the length of Lake Wanaka. It's more than 4 hours off the previous record, which is probably several days shorter than it'd take me. He did 44.5 kilometres from the lake near Makarora to Wanaka, and took him 11 and a bit hours. Still in Wanaka, NASA's coming back to town. They are going to test another high-altitude super balloon. That's ahead of them doing some major space science project work there from April. And in Mataura, we are told by Clutha Southern MP Hamish Walker that there is an agreement pending for the removal of the Uvea premix from the Mataura mill. He's been poo-pooed, however, by the Environment Minister, who says he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
That's us.
Great, Stu. Thank you. Time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with the southern view, people riding and walking across a footbridge. Looking at the situation, the airflow will tend west to northwest for the next few days, bringing some cloud and showers to western and southern coasts. It's mostly fine, warm weather inland. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are looking at cloudy skies and 21 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim can expect some clouds and 23 degrees. Moving down to Canterbury, Kaikoura is expecting grey skies and 19 degrees. Christchurch can expect the same and 20, while Ashburton can expect grey skies and 22 degrees. To the southern towns, those in the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore can all expect moderate northwesterlies and some cloud. The Catlins should reach 21, while Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore can all expect 23. Heading to central Otago, most centres in this area are due for light northwesterlies and fine weather. Wanaka 26, Queenstown 25, Alexandra 28 degrees. Tiano, you may have a cloud or two and 19 degrees. To the northern towns. On the coast, Timaru and Oamaru are due to have moderate northeasterlies and are mostly fine. Timaru 21 and Oamaru 20. Looking inland, Twizel and Omarama are due for light winds, clear skies, and it's 27 for each of you. In Dunedin, cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 11 degrees. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, but the clouds breaking a little with a few sunny periods during the afternoon. A high of 18 and a low of 12. Similar weather on Wednesday, a high of 19 and a low of 13 degrees. And in Invercargill, cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 11 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies tomorrow with a few scattered showers at times and moderate westerly winds, a high of 17 and a low of 11. Cloudy on Wednesday with light showers, moderate northwesterlies, and it's milder, a high of 19 and a low of 13 degrees. That's the news this Monday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening and week. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.